This is the food we use to keep our adorable aquatic friends, the axolotls, happy and healthy. Hello, I'm Sarah, and I'm on a mission to uncover all the secrets of exotic pet care that have been lost in the murky waters of misinformation. And one of those secrets pertains to axolotls, or as I like to call them, the underwater puppies of the amphibian world. Now, as someone who spent more hours than I'd like to admit staring into axolotl tanks and researching their dietary needs, I think I'm qualified to talk about this. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of axolotl cuisine and see what these smiling salamanders like to munch on. You know, when I first started keeping axolotls, the one thing that always puzzled me was what exactly to feed these adorable little aliens. I mean, have you ever tried to figure out what to feed a creature that looks like it's perpetually grinning at you? It's not like you can just ask them what they'd like for dinner. Now imagine trying to keep them healthy without knowing their dietary preferences. Not a pretty picture, right? So, I'd like to talk about the axolotl diet. It's the first and only line of defense against a very unhappy and unhealthy axolotl. How do we ensure they're getting the right nutrition? Well, axolotls are like the foodies of the amphibian world, with some very specific tastes and nutritional needs. Trust me, getting their diet right is crucial for their health, growth, and those adorable smiles they're famous for. Today, I'm going to walk you through the complete feeding guide for axolotls because, as it turns out, not all axolotl foods are created equal. It's like comparing a gourmet meal to fast food. They both feed you, but they do it in very different ways. I'm going to show you something that might surprise you about what these little guys like to eat. Look at this. You might think that axolotls, being aquatic creatures, would eat just like fish, but their diet is quite different. How? Well, axolotls are carnivores, and in the wild, they feast on a variety of small aquatic creatures. Think of it like an underwater buffet, except instead of keeping you full, it keeps these little guys growing and thriving. Instead of plant matter or flakes that many aquarium fish eat, axolotls prefer meaty foods. They're not picky eaters in the sense that they'll try to eat almost anything that fits in their mouths, but for optimal health, we need to provide them with the right kinds of food. It's like the superhero of amphibian diets, standing tall against malnutrition and promoting those trademark axolotl smiles. But why the focus on meat? Well, it comes down to their natural habitat and evolutionary history. Let me show you. Axolotls are native to the lake complex of Xochimilco, near Mexico City. In their natural environment, they would prey on worms, insects, small fish, and crustaceans. They've evolved to digest and thrive on this protein-rich diet. It's like choosing to feed a cat meat instead of vegetables. We're giving them what their bodies are designed to process. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of axolotl food options. Don't worry, I'll keep the jargon to a minimum. I promise not to throw around words like oligochaetes more than absolutely necessary. Oh wait, I just did. Well, since it's out there, let's learn more about these wriggly treats. One of the best foods for axolotls is earthworms. These wriggly friends are like the filet mignon of the axolotl world. They're nutritious, easy to digest, and most axolotls go crazy for them. You can buy them from bait shops or even raise your own. Just make sure they're free from pesticides and other harmful chemicals. It's like serving your axolotl a gourmet meal every time. Another great option is bloodworms. These are the larvae of midge flies and are packed with protein. You can get them frozen or freeze-dried, but many axolotl keepers prefer to use live ones as they trigger the axolotl's natural hunting instincts. It's like watching a miniature underwater safari every feeding time. But how do these foods actually work for the axolotl? When an axolotl eats, it uses a suction feeding method. They literally vacuum up their food whole. It's like when I use a straw to drink a thick milkshake, except the milkshake is a live worm. And I'm an adorable salamander. The food then goes straight to their stomach where it's digested. This feeding method is why the size of the food is so important. Axolotls can't chew their food, so anything they eat needs to be small enough to swallow whole. When I first learned this, I realized it's like they're playing a constant game of, will it fit in my mouth? Only with less choking hazard and more nutritional value. Now, let's talk about some other food options. Brine shrimp, while small, can be a great treat for axolotls. They're like the popcorn of the axolotl world. Not substantial enough for a full meal, but a fun snack. Daphnia, often called water fleas, are another good option. They're like the axolotl equivalent of eating your vitamins, small but packed with nutrients. For larger axolotls, small fish like guppies or minnows can be offered occasionally. But be careful. These should be quarantined and disease-free to avoid introducing parasites to your axolotl. It's like letting your axolotl have a cheat day, but making sure the cheat meal won't make them sick. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sarah, can't I just feed them pellets? It seems so much easier. Well, you can, but it's not ideal as a staple diet. Some axolotl-specific pellets are available and can be used as part of a varied diet. But remember, variety is the spice of life, even for axolotls. When I first started keeping axolotls, I found that the key to a healthy diet is variety. Mixing up their meals keeps them interested and ensures they're getting a wide range of nutrients. It's like planning a weekly menu for your family, except your family is one very hungry, very smiley salamander. But don't forget about feeding frequency and portion size. Young axolotls should be fed daily, while adults can be fed every 2-3 days. As for how much, a good rule of thumb is to feed them as much as they can eat in about 15 minutes. Overfeeding can lead to obesity and other health issues. It's not just about getting food in their bellies, it's about keeping them at a healthy weight. Now, let's address some common questions. Can axolotls eat fish food flakes? While they might nibble on them, flakes aren't suitable as a primary food source. They lack the necessary protein and can cause digestive issues. It's like trying to survive on potato chips. Hasty perhaps, but not exactly nutritious. What about vegetables? Axolotls are strict carnivores, so veggies are off the menu. Feeding them plant matter would be like trying to feed a steak to a rabbit. Their digestive systems just aren't designed for it. One thing to remember is the importance of gut-loading live food. This means feeding nutritious food to the live prey before offering them to your axolotl. It's like making sure the salad you're eating was grown in nutrient-rich soil. You're improving the nutritional value of the food chain. Temperature is another factor to consider when feeding axolotls. These cool creatures prefer cooler water temperatures, around 64 degrees for 16 through 18 degrees. At higher temperatures, their metabolism speeds up, which can lead to overfeeding and stress. It's like trying to eat a big meal on a hot summer day. Not very appealing, right? So what's the takeaway from all this? Feeding axolotls is more than just tossing some food in a tank and hoping for the best. It's about understanding their natural diet, providing variety, and ensuring they get the right nutrients in the right amounts. Whether it's worms, shrimp, or specially formulated pellets, what's important is that these foods keep our axolotls healthy, they're happy, and flashing those famous smiles. Well, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about axolotl diets. Have you ever kept axolotls? What's your go-to food for these charming amphibians? Or maybe you have a favorite axolotl feeding story. No judgment here, we've all been there. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of axolotl cuisine, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any exotic pet care adventures. Big thanks to my patrons for literally making this video happen. If you'd like to support the channel and help me keep exploring the fascinating world of exotic pet care, you know what to do. Until next time, keep those axolotls smiling. And remember, you are what you eat, so feed your axolotls well. Goodbye and happy feeding.